Hello, welcome to Being Reintegrated. This is Tim Wright. So what I'm doing now is I'm working on a definitive Saint Martin translation. Um, I say that and it's like, yeah, you're not awesome. And you're right, I'm not awesome. I'm just a worker and I'm working at this project diligently to try to create for us as illuminists a proper translation. Now, what does that mean? It means that it's not just the English, but it's the meaning, it's the commentary, it's the ability to understand what you're reading. Often, I've taken these translations and I've read them, and, I'm not smart enough or something to understand them. And the translator isn't equipped enough to render them, and also there are no explanatory footnotes. So I'm working to end that. As part of being reintegrated on my Patreon, you can go to OmniShelf for free. It's a link that you can click on that I will, and they won't be edited for publication because I'm just doing this privately for myself. So others that are interested in Saint Martin can learn what the actual words are, why they say what they say, and what a summary of that actual page on that book means. It's a massive thing, but if I were to create books, it would be recreating everybody else's English translate. I don't want to get into that, but Kim Publishing will have on Being Reintegrated a tie-in to OmniShelf. I hope you all are following all that. And then I will have critical editions of all the Saint Martin books. You'll be able to see. I don't know when it's going to start. I mean, I already have my workflow and I already have my translator guidelines. So you'll be able to double check my work. Because I don't want to have any issues with this stuff in the future. We've lost so many centuries of actual work with this material. And I think that those that are drawn to Saint Martin are drawn to him for a reason. So that's why I'm working to restore the tradition back to its original, pre usurping mode. And so that's not easy. So I have to be completely transparent. So on Being Reintegrated, you'll see an English translation of the page of whatever book. You'll see a footnoted section on the translation notes, and then you'll see a one-page commentary. Now, I used modern editing tools, of course, to be able to do this, but it's just a start. That's why I'm not making books out of it unless y'all want that. But what I also will be doing is having a side-by-side reading. On OmniShelf, you'll be able to see the book in PDF format, and then you'll also be able to see the video of explanation. That kind of renders it faster for me. I don't have to do a book for every single book that's already been booked. That's a lot. But if in the future we go toward that route, immediately you'll be able to go ahead and just buy the book from that OmniShelf presentation. So that'll be something exclusive to my Patreons. I'm not going to make that available to the world. Unfortunately, when you publish with Amazon, everybody knows about it. So, there might be some confusion in my publishing efforts. And that's because the moment you try to publish your book, anyone can buy it. And at the time, I was new. I wasn't really an established publisher. I didn't do all the things that we're doing right now. Thank you so much for the Being Reintegrated Patreons. You keep the work going. So this is my give back. It's not like a taking of everybody's stuff. It's a give back of what you've been supporting for the last couple of years. So you'll see critical editions starting with Man and His Nature and Ministry. That is a book that absolutely defines Illuminism. So we're going to redo parts 1, 2, and 3 with the footnoted edition like I'm talking about and a page summary. Not only that, but I've translated Bader's commentary on Man, His Nature, and Ministry, which you'll also be able to see on the OmniShelf. It'll be a link exclusively for my Patreon subscribers that you'll be able to see the book on your left-hand side, and you'll see an instructional video that may or may not be released. I mean, when you're making so much content, it's hard to lock everything down because then no one hears. But then also it's hard to make everything accessible because no one subscribes. So there's a give and a take there. If you're hearing some inconsistencies, go to my Patreon and subscribe, because that's where all the videos are made available to all of my Patreon subscribers, including PDFs of some of the books. And also I'm working on making Kindle books for every volume, very inexpensive. You know, it's not about making money, it's about making an Illuminist tradition available to anybody who wants to get into it. So you don't have to have a massive library and bookshelves full of my books, although that would be great, but I want to make it available so you can just go to your subscription link on Being Reintegrated and click on the link for the OmniShelf and immediately have a Kindle replicated kind of environment that gives you video commentary on the right and gives you the actual book with the critical material on the left. Now, I'm working really hard at refining this, so your subscriptions help me to keep going. Right now, Kim Publishing has like 20 or 30 books. The Gnosis Online Journal is coming out. Some old contributors from Gnosis Magazine are also joining the conversation. 2026 should be the time when we release Gnosis Online to subscribers. Very similar to like an online journal. You'll just basically be a subscriber of Being Reintegrated, and anybody subscribed on there will get a free journal of Gnosis Online, because that's Kim Publishing. So Being Reintegrated is the podcast, video cast, or whatever. Kim Publishing is the book publishing arm, and then Gnosis Online is the work with other authors. I feel like that's robust enough to cover all the bases. Not to mention, if you're interested in some of this Illuminism, you can get further instruction through the Order des Coens Ressuscités, but that's another thing. This is all for Saint-Martinian studies. It's going to be all open and available. You know, unfortunately, I can't make everything free to everyone all the time, no matter what. I mean, if you can, please do so. But, you know, Kim Publishing is doing the effort of creating all of the material in an academic standard, and now the rendering is being done where you'll have the translation, the footnote, and the page commentary. That'll be really good to get us to a zone where we understand everything. Not only that, but we have our synthesis of the Scottish Rite. Also, I have the Double-Headed Authority of the Scottish Rite book, which basically goes through all of the degrees, all of the ritual with a particular perspective. And if you know what it is, then you know how to balance that out and equilibrate the perspective you're getting through Double-Headed Authority. Now, I'm not just selling books to sell books. This is a covering, not a masterclass, but it's definitely a covering of the material. It still has a lot of room for expansion and a lot of room for commentary. So that's why Gnosis Online is offering areas for writers to get into the articles for 2026 rather than forcing everybody to get into books, because Kim Publishing is reaching out to other authors. There's about 5 or 6 that are going to be out, I think, in 2026, 2027. You know, the esteemed Craig Williams is going to be releasing 3 volumes of alchemical commentary currently in work for Kim Publishing / Craig's debut with the publishing company. I'm very grateful to Craig for doing that. Our royalties to authors are completely unprecedented in publishing. You can't get a deal like we are offering. It just won't happen. You're not going to get a academic typography standard book with most of your royalties given back to you, and you'll own your rights. That's not going to happen. So Craig was really happy that he gets to retain his rights with Kim Publishing, and I have other authors that are interested as well. If you want, submit requests to kimpublishing@outlook.com. You can definitely get a submission into Gnosis Online if you're a fledgling author, publisher. All of those workings can be made. So we have over our big old structure a luminous publishing engine. We have online content, we have video content, we have book translations, which are critically done. We have the commentaries, we have the contextualization, we have the initiatic formation. All of that is available to you if you want it to be part of your, wheelhouse or whatever. But that's not immediately talked about because you can't really talk about all those arenas of ritual and initiatic synthesis and education. You can't talk about the Koan. You can't talk about Saint Martin. You can't talk about Illuminism. You can't talk about English translated French books. It gets kind of large in scope. So that's why all of this structure has been created. So we will be able to talk about it. Every book will be redone privately, not offered in print, so everybody can get good about their copyright holdings. But if you're a Patreon of Being Reintegrated on Patreon/Being Reintegrated, you can go ahead and see all these books as they come out in the OmniShelf. So I hope that's been informative. Thanks for letting the publishing engine go forward. Thanks for all of your subscriptions and purchases. It really does refine our model. So, I appreciate you more than anything. It's been Thanksgiving in the United States. So, thanks for being here. Thanks for being who you are. And thanks for having interest, because without you, this thing couldn't go forward. I would not have the energy to do thousands of pages of commentarial critical editions of Saint Martin. But you guys are making it happen. So thanks so much.